Y'all ain't doing shit.
Get in here, best friends, to another episode of Two Save Queens. One of the few places in the podsphere where you can hear a conversation about politics, dick, and how to be your best self in 2021. I'm your host, Miss Malachi, and I'm joined by one of my best friends, Miss Devereaux. Hey, girl.
Hey, girls. Hey, how y'all doing?
And this week, we're joined by a close friend of ours and a queen we've both known since we were wee baby gays. She's an entrepreneur, lifestyle and business influencer, a queen who's been featured by Oprah, USA Today, and Black Enterprise, and has quite the following on social media. In particular, one of my favorite new Instagram thoughts, and a messy truth teller, the one and only Miss MJ Harris.
I'm happy to be on.
Hey, MJ. So, how was your New Year's Eve? What was going on? What did you do on New Year's Eve? What was the tea?
Nothing. We did absolutely nothing. So I'm one of these folks who literally follows the directives around COVID to a T. So it was no socializing. It was nobody around. In fact, we were preparing to move the next morning. So we were up packing the night before. It was like completely uneventful. We did go onto the balcony and like with some sage and Palo Santo and did our little manifestation.
Yes. You better light candles. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, I know about your Corona protocols, girl, because we talk about it all the time. That's what y'all bond over. Corona protocols.
We are very similar. Very similar. Yes.
Yes. I mean, Miss Malachi is pretty careful too, to be honest. You are a girl. You're not a girl out in these streets either, girl. You really are not.
No, I haven't seen girls in months. Like, truly, I don't even recognize people anymore.
Me either. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's like, it's that weird thing because, like, I have some girls who have taken trips, are going to exotic places. I won't say where, cough Brazil. And I just, it's just not, I get it. And those girls seem to be fine. None of them ended up in the hospital yet. But, it's just not for me. I feel like, it only takes one. And also I'm thinking about the greater good. Okay. I'm thinking about my mama, my mama's older friend, aunties, uncles, grandma. Like, I'm thinking about people beyond myself. And I get like, well, I guess if you're in another country, you're not really killing close to you.
Actually are hurting people because a lot of those healthcare systems aren't even remotely as developed as ours. And they are forced to take on tourism as a way just to have some level of stability within their economy. And so what we're doing is bringing viruses to them, and they don't even our healthcare system isn't doing so well, but imagine a system that was already flailing, So I do think it's selfish even to go there, bringing it there.
I mean, let's segue, honey. Miss Tulum and Miss Puerto Vallarta, those girls. I'll still not get over that boat fucking going down.
Yes.
Oh, gays over COVID.
Yes.
Miss Gays over COVID, that's a whole different, because there's like, because the Boston Gays over COVID was like outing girls if they were HIV positive, so that's too much. Like, y'all can't be doing all that's too much.
I didn't realize they were doing that.
Why would
the Boston one? The Boston one, not the main one. So it's like an offshoot. But
the main one got taken down for a minute just for outing girls.
Back.
Period.
I think it's back.
Period. But yeah, no, it's definitely back. But like the girls who were being outed and being in Puerto Vallarta and Tulum and Rio were reporting them. But Instagram brought those girls back, gays over COVID. So and they're still
But yeah, no Puerto Vallarta for you. I mean, the pictures look, well, not the ones where the girls were sinking into the ocean, but the other pictures looked cute.
I say this, people have a right to do what they do, and if nothing else, COVID has kind of shown me when dealing with family and friends that people have very different risk thresholds as it relates to personal safety. And while I will judge your poor risk threshold, I am not one of these new age people who's like, I can't judge, no shaming, fuck all that bullshit. Yeah. You know what I mean? No, some shit is stupid as fuck.
Well, girl, we actually all of us go way back. I mean, we've known each other all.
Now, don't say don't let the girls think we're like,
no,
just
girl,
like back a little bit.
We've known each other since about 16, 17 years, girl.
Don't do that. Why you gotta do actual numbers like that?
I mean, we're all mid-30s girls. Let's tell the truth.
I'm about to be my late 30s, so I'm all right with that. If not Asian, then what?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, we all, but you know that black got us looking good on the Zoom, bitch.
Yes,
your
indeed.
skin, honey.
Yes,
your skin is looking good, Miss MJ. Ooh,
Thank you, my dear. It's been going through it with COVID, though, being stuck in the house, because I didn't realize this, but the lack of vitamin D in terms of being out in the sun.
Vitamin what?
D, darling.
You're not getting enough vitamin D? Oh.
Not enough. It's affected my skin. It's affected my skin.
Go
Probably
on
lack
run.
of dick, too. Huh?
I've been trying to like go on runs, but even then, it's like even if you go on like an hour run, that's probably still not. Like maybe I do need to start getting some supplements, but
it doesn't hurt.
But back to you,
Mr. But well, girls. So we haven't known each other about 16, 17 years. We all met probably like in the fall of 2004.
Yeah,
and Miss Malachi and Miss MJ, girl, they were in the same little gay fraternity, girl.
Yes,
what fraternity is that, girl? What fraternity was that?
Oh, Delta and the Phi, DLP.
Oh, I be getting them wrong sometimes. That's why I was letting you go first. Because
girl, you don't remember. You're not that girl anymore, Miss Malachi. You're not that girl.
And she was a classics major, so she should know how to pronounce the Greek alphabet. But actually no, it was. Oh, that was something that always messed me up. They used because in Greek it's a phi, but they always pronounced it pi, and like pi is like a different Greek alphabet letter. So that always messed me up. Being extra, but yeah, we were in that DLP is what the girls would call it. It was the first one on a university's campus. It was for like Philly in general, and like they're still around. I actually have Miss Michael and Estevan of our cousins, your gay cousins. They're DLP members as well. I think we touched on that when they I don't know if we were on their show or on ours. One of the ways.
It was both ways.
Both ways.
Both ways. Girl. Yeah.
That was a time I feel like I gave that organization a lot of energy. That's for another show to talk about, regrets. And but I think one of the things I'm still thankful for is that some of my best friends today, who I'm still friends with after 16 something years, I met through that organization. And one of the people I met was Miss MJ Harris. And maybe we would have, some of the girls from your university mingled with my university, so we might have met another way. But I think it allowed us to really like get really close really fast. Yeah. It was so nice to have like a black queen who was really working and doing her thing to look up to, and I really appreciated that time that we spent together.
Yeah, it was wonderful. It was one of the happiest times in my life, because I didn't really know a lot of other gay people, period, when I first moved to Philly to go to college, and so that was a great way for me to start building a social circle. It was wonderful.
And it's so I think about this all the time, but girl, we were all some financially struggling girls in college.
Absolutely.
Some of us more than others.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
You talking about me? You talking about MJ?
I'm talking about both of y'all girls. Both of y'all girls. I had a little piece of allowance.
Oh, girl, girl, if you get an allowance, you're not financially struggling. Yeah, I mean, I guess for like, it depends on how big your allowance was at the school we went to.
It was okay. It was a cute. I wasn't that broke. I was pretending to be broke back then. I wasn't that broke. But what I will say this, girl. It was funny because just thinking about some of the things Miss MJ and I used to do, girl, because we used to take long walks down to Center City from our respective campuses. I was at Penn and Miss MJ was at Drexel.
Center City, Philly, which is saying we were both
Center
going
City,
to school
Philly,
in
which is like
which
is like downtown Philadelphia, and we would go to Benetton. We would go to Club Monaco, girl. We would
come on, Clubs of Benetton.
we would get clothes or whatever, maybe wear them a night or two, and we would take those bitches,
and then return that shit.
Bitches right back. Yes, we did. Yes, we did, girl.
Yeah.
See, y'all were smarter than me because she was just doing dumpster diving through thrift stores and stuff like that. So y'all at least that's how y'all were always looking cute. Y'all looked cuter than I did. She was on her own journey back in those days.
I got fucked up doing that one time at Diesel because I tried that shit and I brought it back, and then the girl behind the counter was like, "I'm sorry, you can't return this." Like, how? She's like, "Cause you wore this." So she started pointing out all those signs. So literally, I had to.
You see that cum stain right there?
Right. I had to hold a $600 balance on my card, which was a lot of money.
No,
yes, I did.
No. And remember back in those George Bush days, girl? Remember how we got the credit cards? Like they would give us $8,000 and $10,000 limits back then, girl. And we were doing the most back then. We really were. But girl, I remember like swiping for each other at the dining hall, girl.
Indeed.
It was like that. The gag is though, you were always an entrepreneurial girl. Because remember, you were starting businesses way back then in college. Remember 12L, girl?
I never Wait, what was it? What was it called?
12l.com, girl. Remember that one?
12thelocust.com. Yo, it was a dating site. I started a gay dating website. I forgot all about that.
Yes,
come on with these
girl.
throwbacks. See, I was like, I never thought of you as that broke because I was like, this girl's always on her hustle. She's always starting this business and that business.
I was
and
broke.
Working, so.
Any money I got, I put into starting businesses. Any money I got, I did my work study money. I'd use that to start businesses. Anything I got. And, I just didn't have a lot of resources outside of that. But I looked at starting businesses as my way out and my way up because I never thought of myself as much of as someone being who had a lot of academic aptitude. I never thought of myself as someone who would do really well in school because I never did.
Which you underestimated yourself on that though. I do think you kind of downplayed. You're a smart girl. Like at the end of the day, you're smart. And it's different kind of intelligence. But I think though you underestimated yourself in that particular area.
Yeah, I hear you. I definitely hear you. I think that for me it was. I think I understood my intelligence. I think what I didn't see was my ability to apply within like traditional pedagogy, traditional school kind of stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so I was like, and you know how it is in those environments. You really are heavily evaluated based on your ability
to learn a certain way.
Those structures.
Can you hit these exams? Can you do these exams?
And I just knew that wasn't going to be my strength. And so I was like, well, that's not my strength. I'm probably going to struggle in the work world compared to people who do well within those structures. So I may want to do something a little more entrepreneurial.
Well, girl, I was just faking it, girl. I was able to get a high test score, get into a college, bitch. But once I got there, I wasn't doing shit. I really wasn't. I'm telling you the truth.
Yeah.
Girl, what has that led to though? Because you started off, we had the 12L, you were doing one business after another in college. What has that led to now? Like, what businesses are you in now? What are you? What makes Malcolm MJ Harris the mogul that she is these days? What are you doing?
Well, right now, so my two worlds at this point in time are digital media and in financial services. So I own, at this point, maybe 6 or 7 companies. And those companies all focus in those particular areas. So I own a company that's my products and licensing business, which is the business that produces my physical products, which you'll see a lot more of them this upcoming year. And then I have other businesses that focus in the insurance and sales marketing world. I love the idea of network marketing, multi-level marketing, insurance. I love things that allow ordinary people to achieve extraordinary outcomes. And for me, I just recognize that if you have the right level of ambition and you have access to a great platform that can help you to make money, you'll probably do very well. So that's what I focus on. I focus on creating really great platforms that anybody can come into if they're ambitious and can choose to make whatever money that they desire.
And your grandmother was a catalyst for that too,
Absolutely.
right? Your grandmother and your dad's. Yeah, she was selling insurance way back.
1981.
Like, yeah.
My grandmother started that, and then my grandmother did tons of network marketing, all the Amways and the Mary Kays and the everything like that.
Okay.
And so I saw that, Yeah, my grandmother was a woman who literally, I never saw her work a full-time job, and no shade to full-time jobs, but that just wasn't her story. And so I saw this Black woman in the South, support herself in a really meaningful way, never having financial troubles from largely being within direct sales. And so for me, I chose to create businesses that focus on direct sales.
It's so funny because back then I was always assuming you were going to become some media mogul. I used to say you were going to be our generation's Oprah. It turns out you're our generation's MJ, girl. But tell us, girl,
with a little Oprah and a little Wendy and a little other messy bitches.
Tell us what it was like, though, because you did meet Oprah, and I think it was 2014.
Yeah.
You were actually featured by her. Tell us what it was like meeting her, though. Tell us a little bit about that, because you had always talked about her in the affirmative.
Oprah did not have. So I don't think Oprah wears perfume. I don't, and I think cause I've heard her say that before. But when I hugged her, I remember she smelled like hair products in a good way, like because that's she smelled like the product in her hair.
Some good shea moisture. I got
you. Something. But no, it was a really good experience. It was largely an unexpected experience. It was wonderful, but I remember even standing on that stage with her, and I'm in an arena. It was probably about 15,000 people. you know, the people.
Because it's on her tour. This is on her tour that she did.
Tour. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay.
And so I'm up there and I'm like, you know what? This feels amazing. But I just literally heard, call it God, call it the universe, whatever you want to call it. I heard that say to me, you know, this is just a glimpse of what's ahead for you in terms of your ability to ignite responses in people based on your words. And so I never viewed it as, even in that moment, a 15-minute of fame experience, an Oprah experience thing, because I think that what Oprah was more than anything else was a catalyst for me to see a glimpse of what was ahead. And fortunately, that was exactly what happened, standing today with 28 million individual unique viewers in the last 28 days.
Mm-hmm. Yes, girl. Push through, girl. Push through, girl. Yes.
What platforms are you having those views? Yeah, talk about
I was just going to ask that, yeah.
So my biggest viewership comes from Facebook Watch. So Facebook has been such a wonderful supporter. Damn,
we hate Zuck, girl. Damn, why Facebook?
I can't say that.
But you know, if he's paying you, girl, I support you, girl. But damn, I hate this Zuck.
But girl, that's where the aunties are. That's the aunties.
Yeah, that's my demo.
That's true. That's true.
And the aunties, when I tell you, bitch, girl, when I tell you, like, multiple women in their 50s and 60s come to me because they know I know you, girl. And they be like, ooh, girl, who's MJ dating? What's MJ up to, girl? What's MJ? Tell me the real tea, girl. My aunties, 50, 60 something, at least 3 or 4 of them, girl. And that's your, you know, you appeal to that, to that age of women.
Audience.
You really do.
Yeah, my core audience is usually women over the age of 40. And Facebook has been wonderfully supportive in providing me with resources and great income to produce content that I get to still own, you know, which is why I was so happy because people, when I first moved to LA, people pushed me so hard about when you gonna get on TV, when you gonna try to get on TV, and I don't want to say I gave up on that, but I very quickly saw that I didn't want to jump through 85 hoops to get some development executive who doesn't get me to get me or shapeshift who I am to make them get me when I could make even more money through digital media and own 100% of my content and be exactly who I wanted to be. And for me personally, it's just worked out better to be digital rather than produced by, you know, within the traditional platforms.
Yeah, and I think the way you're doing it, talking about your direct sales history and especially your inspiration from your so was it mother or
your grandma? His grandma.
Okay, I did have it right. Grandmother. Is that like, you know, so many of like influencers, whether on TikTok or Instagram or Facebook, it is a type of direct, you're speaking directly to your audience, and that's not the way traditional Hollywood works. There's so many gatekeepers and barriers that are going to be filtering and changing your message and influencing it. That is not the way that social media works, and I think it was a good decision. But you talked about Miss Facebook being a large part, but I know you on this IG too, girl. I know
IG's wonderful. IG is good. So what I use IG for is that's my platform to do more of my, I would say, more uncensored content.
MJ After Dark.
MJ After Dark, yes.
Y'all ain't doing shit.
Y'all ain't doing shit. Get this motherfucker and talk to me. But I love Instagram because I feel like Instagram and Facebook are all facets of our own real personalities. Facebook is where is that nice public face that we show that's nice and palatable to everyone. Instagram is where we give, you know, that other side of us. Neither is more real than the other. They just are different facets.
But girl, I do see my mom and aunties and them, they be liking the bikini pics on Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, they do.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they follow the little, like the professional content, the money content.
The LinkedIn content.
The sister girl content on Facebook. And then they go on Instagram and they like the bikini pics.
They get their
Yes, they do.
Life.
Yes, they do, girl.
We love that buzz. We love that ass. You working that, girl.
Yeah, I love it. You know, my logic is this. You know, one of the things I accepted for myself, because there's always the question of what is your brand? What is your brand? And one of the things that I accepted is that what my brand is not finance. My brand is not inspiration. My brand is escape. I give people an escape. And rather as an escape to be able to aspire and dream for more, rather that escape is a world where you feel completely empowered and you can say and feel the things you want to say and not have to be the person who struggles with being a people pleasing in your real life. I give you an escape. I give you a window out, and it's up to you what you take from that world that I create for you, that escape, what you take back into your real life. But at the end of the day, I give you an escape, and I am a bold picture of someone who lives fully as their authentic self. And so by looking into my life, that allows you to escape out of some aspects of your life. But the great thing is you can choose what parts of me you take back to your life with you.
Come on, sis. You better speak on it, girl. You better speak on it.
Miss Malachi, too, like, you were kind of wondering about...
Yeah, that's exactly it, girl. I was wondering, because you're speaking about... And I think you do that by sharing so much of yourself, especially on camera. But, girl, let's get into it. Like, does that ever wear you down? Like, I mean, of course, we talk about, like, celebrity, but you are a sort of celebrity. You are someone who is on a lot. Does that ever wear you? Like, how do you deal with constantly being on or constantly having to, even if you're saying, like, you're still being your authentic self, it's still some sort of performance. You're still, like, entertaining people. You're giving them that escape. Like, what's that? How do you deal with that? Do you have days where you don't feel like getting on and checking in late night? Like, yeah, tell us about that, though.
Well, I will say this much. I love what I do. And you could
she
never
said, I love it, bitch. I don't care.
Yeah. You could never do anything that requires you to be famous. I have more viewership in a given week than the Kardashian shows in some weeks. Do you understand? Like, in terms of the level of viewership. And that's not to belittle anyone else's viewership or anything like that. But when you think of pure
No, but come
eyeballs,
through Black Excellence.
Yeah. Like the number
Yes.
of eyeballs that hit, and so when you have that much mass visibility, what ends up happening, you could never sustain it doing that if you don't like it, if you don't enjoy your work. And so for me, fortunately, I do enjoy my work. And I think I enjoy it so much because I can do it on my own terms. But what I will say, I think that's a valid question. There's obviously always a performative element when you are in front of a camera, when you're doing anything. There's you have to entertain people. Does that get tiring? Well, yeah, it's exhausting when you have to do it every day. But the great thing is I've been so fortunate to have such a large body of content. I think over 7,000 videos right now, that the ability to repost things definitely is a great way to supplement. But also, although a lot of people feel like I'm a ubiquitous part of their daily social media experience, that doesn't mean that I'm filming every day. We have systems and people who are constantly posting and reposting. So I may only be doing an MJ After Dark 3 times in a week, which at best is an hour and 15 minutes each. But all the content that's being posted is what gives people the impression of me always being on. But outside of that, most of my energy is actually poured into my business. So for me, being on camera is my escape, because I'm the CEO of a company with over 5,500 team members. That's what takes all of my energy. So it's fun being on camera because that's my escape to pour out those parts of myself that I can't do as a CEO.
And I'm going to just give the girls a little bit of tea. Like, you really didn't get into content to monetize it at the beginning. Like, it
wasn't possible back then.
Yeah. So you were really, you were sharing content kind of like, number one, to market your other businesses, but number two, to kind of just share, positive content with people in general, right? And it just over time you've been able to monetize it, but that was not your original intention, really. Yeah,
that's true. I never thought that I never thought you could make money from this, because when I started, that didn't exist. And then I just remember, you literally, it happened like this. You wake up in the morning one day, you're checking your email, and you see an email from one of the social media platforms saying, hey, could you fill out this document? We're going to start putting ad breaks on your videos. And you're like, okay. And I remember this happened to me when I first said yes to Facebook. I said, sure, let's do it. I filled out the little W-9, whatever kind of tax form that they give you. And I didn't know what that meant to get money from this. And then so it went for a full year. And I remember I was on a call with somebody and she says, you have so many viewers. Have you been monetized? I was like, I think I filled a form out a year ago. And she says, you haven't been getting money? Turns out there was one other form I needed to fill out. So they had tons of money sitting in escrow for me for a year. I had no idea. And it has been mind-boggling. What advertising is. That's why when even people talk to me and they would try to put me down for, oh, you're just on social media, I'm like, Tide doesn't give a fuck if the ad is on TV or on social media. An ad is an ad, and I get a percentage on every single ad. Yeah.
And with all these cord cutters, like, I feel like digital media is the the primary form of media for a lot of people. It really is.
Oh yeah, I barely cut on my TV. We watch Netflix movies. That's pretty much it. We don't really watch cable.
Yeah, and you say we, girl. So you have your nephew living with you now in California, you know, and what is it like helping to raise your nephew and being responsible for, like, you know, helping him with the next phase of his life? Because this is a teenager living in your house right now. That is going from a single girl, you know, living about town about
living
herself.
the life.
And then now you're helping to raise this young man. Like, that's a lot of responsibility. What is that like right now? What is that?
I love parenting. You know this from when we were young. I always said I want to be a parent, and I plan to have more children. But I love parenting. I love it. I love it. I love it. There are a few things that I can think of in my life that have brought me more joy than this experience. It is, for me personally, it's such a great experience. Because I get up before him, so I'm in the kitchen working. I work right here at the kitchen counter, and I'm sitting here at the counter. He comes downstairs and he says, "Good morning, Unc." And, you know, he just is, you know, just having that person in your life that you can pour into, you know, it changes the way you make decisions 100%. You know, you may, that guy who says, "Oh, I want to come by and chill with you." And you know me, you can't come to my house unless you self-quarantine for 7 days and did the test. Right. Like legit. But even that, it's like, no, even if you're willing to go through every step, it's not a question of if you're COVID safe. The question is your character safe? Do I want you around this
my
seed
baby
that I'm raising? Exactly. And so it influences so much. It's also influenced my work. I think that in the coming years, people are going to, I don't want to say see a lot less of me, but my work will be, because of the way I'm marketed, you probably won't see less of me, but I personally will be working significantly less, just because I think raising a child has made me become just more conscious of the other parts of my life that have not been cultivated. That I can't really cultivate while I'm working so much. Me, I was talking to Marco the other day, and I was saying, because he's on camera a lot, and I was saying, you know,
y'all girls can go over to his IG and see him.
Yes, y'all will love him. And so, I told him, I said, be very conscious of developing you while you're developing your brand on camera. I said, because at this stage of my life, being very transparent, I am very aware of who MJ is, but like, this is what I wear. Y'all can't see me, obviously, but I'm wearing a blue kind of hoodie and shorts.
You have a hoodie on.
Yeah. And I was saying, I dress very calm at home. I said, because I don't even know what kind of clothes I like. I don't know what hobbies I like. I have been literally, my world is MJ. Everyone on staff is about making MJ more famous. MJ helping making sure we have revenue to pay the staff and everything like that.
So we're talking about Malcolm versus MJ. Like, who is Malcolm? What is she? Who is
exactly?
She?
So that's made me think about that. Like, well, who am I and what do I like to do? And what hobbies can I develop? And it's very hard to do that with the level of energy that I've poured into my career for the last 12 years.
How have you been thinking about trying to explore that? Like, you about to, you know, try a little golfing? You know,
well, I'm going to travel a lot more once I get the vaccine. I'm going to try to travel a lot more.
Where you going, sis? I come with you.
I don't know. I'm going to travel more. I'm going to cut back.
I want to go to Asia. We've been talking about Miss Asia.
And you know, let's be transparent. We were all supposed to go to pre-corona.
Yeah, we were.
Over Memorial Day weekend, all of us and some others were supposed to go to Puerto Vallarta. We missed that chance, but go ahead.
Yeah, and we're not going now.
Well, I'm looking forward to going when all this clears up. So doing that, probably within the next year, we're looking to probably bring on a COO or a CEO of the company so I can focus more on being a chairman rather than running operations, which will free up my time considerably to explore and figure out things I want to do.
I will say, girl, I don't know if you know, she started traveling a lot more in these last couple of years, and I will say, it's strangely enough, when you are in places where you either don't know the language, you don't know the people, you're unfamiliar places, you really have to grow in a different way. And like, you either realize that like, oh, I'm someone who can then push myself to go meet people, or I'm someone who's going to withdraw. I think you learn different sides of yourself when you're in unfamiliar spaces and places.
Yeah, it stretches you.
Yeah, you did take a cute trip to Japan in like 2019, right before Corona.
I did.
Yeah, that was your first time in Asia too, wasn't it, girl?
It was. We went there for my mom's. We went for her 65th birthday, and that was really, really fun. I enjoyed traveling with her. But I will tell you, even then, I can't say that I fully enjoyed or was immersed in the trip because I had a list of shots to get for content for the vlogs that needed to be edited from that experience when I got back. I mean, my life has been consumed with filming all the time.
What would it be like to do a trip where you're not filming anything?
I can't wait to tell you about it.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear about it.
So, girl, so now kind of thinking more about the future post-corona and traveling. And we're going to get into a new segment called The Best Dick You've Ever Had, girl.
Oh, my Jesus.
MJ After Dark type of tea.
Ooh, yeah,
you know
tell your little boy to cut off at this part.
He's not near us. He's not near you.
Oh, no,
girl,
he's upstairs. He's upstairs watching TV.
Oh, okay. So, girl, so I know this is hard because we both done had a lot of...
Ooh, lots of dick, baby. Lots of dick.
And Miss Malachi.
I know. Ain't none of us heard for no dick. Bitch, shut the fuck up. You know you had a lot of dick.
I am saved to sanctify.
Honey, that's not what they say in these streets, honey. I done read about you, bitch.
You remember in a Philly girl. You in the gut of Philly
Best
girl. I'm not that
coochie
girl
on this
anymore.
side of the Mississippi.
Miss Malachi,
I'm a proper LA girl now.
And Miss Malachi, we were just talking about this on previous episodes. She used to pull that white tray back in the day. She was sleeping. And girl, you're so funny, girl, because girl, Miss MJ, I remember when you were living with this white trade way back in the day. I think he might have with a med student or whatever, and I think he was supposed to be straight, but girl, I thought he was gay the whole time. But anyway, that's way back. That's way back. So what's the best D you ever had? What's the best D you ever had?
Best D I ever had was this dude in DC. And he was amazing. He know who he is. He was an engineer, and it was so bomb. So all the LA dick I didn't have. Sorry, y'all do not fucking qualify.
Girl, LA dick don't do nothing, girl.
It'd be okay, but these little pretty niggas can't fuck for shit. Just know that, because people. That's the problem with pretty niggas. Y'all, people lie to them and make them think that they dick is good. And you know what I mean? They lazy about it, you know. But this dude, he wasn't a pretty boy. I mean, scale from 1 to 10 on the pretty scale, he was a solid 6.5. But his personality, his dick, everything about him made it better. And we had amazing pillow talk. He gave me a lot of advice that I applied to my business that's made my business what it is today. He was a really smart guy, and that dick was bomb as fuck.
No, let's get into the dick though. Like how big? Like was it just like
it wasn't
just the
huge.
way he
it was
used
like a
it, or was
size.
it like?
It was probably like a
boyfriend
6.5, 7 length. Let's say 6.5, 7. Thickness was just above average. It was nice and big enough and thick enough where you don't even have to. You ain't gotta like breathe hard to get.
Like you feel satisfied. Like you feel full, but not stretched. Like you don't feel like you ate too much.
Right. But the thing was this: he had a curve to it, and so he would always hit your G spot. And he was a nerd as fuck, so he studied. He literally told me he studied the male prostate to figure out the best sexual positions for fucking. Because one time I was like, "Nigga, how do you always fuck me so good?" And he's like, "Well, I'm kind of a nerd, so I studied that." I was like,
I did a whole project on it about the best.
I'm glad he did because that dick was bomb as fuck.
Now,
bitch,
girl,
remember I used to ask you for referrals, girl? I used to be like, girl, send me that referral for that one good dick you had.
And I don't mind. Bitch. Let me tell you this. I'm a bitch who don't give a fuck. Because my logic is, I never understood a territorial bitch about some dick that you're not with no more. Like, it'd be different if you was married to the man. But, like, if it was just some dick you
community
ran around
dick.
with.
Give it to
like
the community.
Shit the fuck. I mean, let's be real. I'm sure if we really got down to it, we could all privately name about 5 people that each of us have probably all fucked. Let's be real. I
think you and I overlap by maybe 1 or 2, girl. I think we only because I would ask you for the referral. I wouldn't follow through with it.
Okay, well, if you did, you'd have been encouraged to. I would have told you, bitch, make sure you suck his balls. He like that.
But I think we might have had like 1 or 2 overlaps.
Yeah.
1 or 2.
Yeah,
girl.
Now, girl, I want to know though if like continuing. All right, so if there was any dick you could have, like in history, famous dick, celebrity dick, whose D would it be?
Whose D would it be? I used to say Odell Beckham, but according to some gossip story I heard a while ago, he may be into some shit that I'm not into.
I saw that.
Yes, I'm not repeating it. Y'all can, but
allegedly. We got
allegedly. That's what I said.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yes.
So at this point in my life, who would it be? Who would it be if I had to get some dick from anybody out there? Shit, who the fuck would it? Child. What's that guy named? You know what I'm talking about? The singer, light skin guy?
Jidenna.
Jidenna.
Girl, oh no, then we can make that happen. I know people who know. Like, I'm literally one, maybe two people away from Jidenna. Like,
well,
I can send some
I got good
referrals,
coochie and
girl.
I'm quiet about it. I will deny that anything ever happened. Okay, I got an NDA just like he got an NDA. We can sign this bitch and get to it.
You know, just trade it same time across the table,
right?
I know Fish he was trying to mess with, but he wanted polyamory, so he was like,
polyamory just one step away from homosexuality.
So was the polyamory with other men or with other women?
I didn't hear. It was just. It seemed like with other women at the time, but I don't have
allegedly.
Full details.
Allegedly.
I'll say I've never heard anything about him liking men. But what I will say is, if he ever decided to experiment, honey, he can experiment with me.
Yes, he can. Yes, we can.
Yeah,
Obama shit. Obama shit. Yes, we can.
You deserve that. Have you had any celebrity LA, like someone? Okay, was it so you? Because I'm sure NDA, but was it? Were you surprised? Were you pleasantly surprised, or were you like, not what I thought?
So my thing for a while was athletes. I will say that. And
come on, NFL.
And
I see you, girl.
Within that, I will say this: I was surprised by how unsatisfying the experience was emotionally for me.
Emotionally. You know, those girls are empty. Those girls are
closeted men. I don't care if you are a janitor or if you are a star athlete. At the end of the day, closet is closet, and you will never have a full emotionally immersive relationship with a person who can't embrace who they are. And so it was probably one of the most.
Those girls are missing a part of themselves.
Absolutely.
Yeah, those girls
absolutely. And I feel bad for them, which is why I would never out anybody just in general. But I definitely feel bad for them because a lot of these men are living in torture, and you'd be surprised at other issues that come along with it. Drinking too much, drugs, all kinds of stuff, because they're numbing in so many ways just to deal with that reality. So a lot of times when you're dealing with these very famous closeted men, certainly not all, but some of them, you not only get in the issues of dating a closeted man, but sometimes you get into the issue of dating an addict, because in a lot of cases they have other ancillary issues that can go with it.
Have you ever had this experience too? Miss Malachi and I talk about this all the time, like where I know you have because we talked about it, but I just want the girls to know. So like when you're laid up post-coital, tea with the man, and he's starting to reveal some tea, like, oh, my wife, oh, my fiance, oh, my kids, and you're like, nigga, what? Like, we didn't just
worth mentioning earlier.
Shit, that
you
wasn't in the profile. That wasn't in the profile.
No, you just dicked me down. Like, I'm sitting up here, the dick was good, and you telling me you were this, you're married, you're that, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like what have I? You know what I'm saying?
These niggas
Like,
don't give a fuck. They do not give a fuck.
I know a girl who told me she took a man and went back. She was at the pool, met a man, took him up, brought him back, went back to the pool, and then saw the man go back to his wife and kids playing by the pool.
Oh no!
Let me tell you this.
I need y'all to put some space there. Like, you ain't gotta get back. Like, I still got you.
But a lot of these women are aware of that. They are aware that their man is cheating on them with some.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely certain of that. I will tell you. Yes, I'm certain of this. I've seen multiple times recently women who have married, literally recently married, posting we just got married pictures to niggas who clearly also like men. And I believe in bisexuality. I'm not going to say I don't believe in it, but my point is that you choose to get with a man who is not open and honest with you sometimes about his current attractions, and then you expect him to stay faithful. It's like, bitch, you know that this nigga has like men or whatever, and he won't admit it, and you think that, okay, if he don't admit it or he don't talk about it, then it's gone away. Bitch, he still like boy pussy. Let's just call a motherfucking thing a thing.
Come on, pussy.
And so they a lot of them walk into this, and beyond that, rather you fucking a dude or fucking a woman, the reality is cheating is cheating. and you willing to overlook it. Because what's the difference between that same man who you said went to the hotel with your friend? What about the same kind of men who would do that with the woman? A cheater is a cheater. Fuck who he cheating with. He's still a cheater. And bitches be staying with these men who cheating because they don't believe they can find somebody else, because culturally they're told that divorce is bad, all this other shit. So I don't give a fuck if the dude's fucking a woman or a man. The reality is, why the fuck are you ignoring information and signs that you can clearly motherfucking see? Because it's rarely a surprise when a nigga's cheating. You know what I mean? That's allowing you to stay there.
Ooh, girl, that is that's a word right there. That's a word.
I mean, well, like, let's get into it, girl. So we in 2021, like, let's help the girls out. Let's help our fish out. Let's help the queens out. So in the words of Miss T.S. Madison, what do you think the girls need to do to step their pussy up in 2021 other than leave their unfaithful niggas alone? Like,
boost their self-esteem. I think that we often attract a direct reflection of what we believe we are. And so with that said, if my sense of self-worth is down here, then I'm going to attract a man who either has a similar sense of self-worth or a man who is predatory. So he's attracted to my low sense of value because that gives him the ability to manipulate and control situations. People who generally have issues, toxic people, narcissistic people, so on, they tend to be attracted to dynamics with people who have a sense of low self-worth because those are the only people that they can manipulate. And so the greatest cure to all these ills is for you to increase your sense of self-worth, because when you have a higher sense of self-worth, will you be a human repellent for ain't shit men? No. But when those men do come around, you'll be more able to have better discernment to be able to identify those men, and you'll be able to set better boundaries and say, no, this doesn't work for me.
But I'm going to push you, girl, because a lot of girls will be like, oh, yeah, just like feel better, work on your self-esteem, work on your self-worth. But what is that? Like, go read some books, go to the ocean and write a journal, like go do a fitness class, therapy.
Therapy is a great starting point. I don't think there's really any substitute for that. I think that oftentimes our issues with our self-worth, our shadows, as we like to call it, are often connected to unresolved stuff, sometimes unresolved trauma and things of that nature. So I think that therapy is a great starting point for you. I think that all the books
and for the broke girls, I'm gonna say maybe a journal.
Well, I do think that being aware of your feelings can be very helpful. You know, that self-actualize, just identifying what you feel when you feel it can be very helpful. But you'd be surprised there's group therapy situations out here that are significantly cheaper. So group based environments. I do think working on your body can be helpful, but I think that oftentimes that's overemphasized. Like, girl, work on you so you can still look good and be an empty, broken vessel. So I think that that's not necessarily something that I recommend as a starting point. If you choose to work on your body because you want to look the way you feel inside, then fine.
And you'll feel better because of that. And
but that doesn't really help all the time.
Try and just get that Peloton, like, because I know girls who will get that Peloton, and then y'all girls tell me it's not that expensive. I don't believe y'all hoes. Did you get a Peloton, MJ?
No, I have a regular workout bike. I don't have all that stuff. The bike is a bike.
The girls be like, oh, just get a Peloton. I'm like, y'all girls got student loans. I don't know how y'all afford these Pelotons, but okay.
Credit.
Tell me it's not that expensive.
They can finance it.
It's $2,500.
Yeah. Ooh, she put the number out. Okay.
Oh, it is. It's $2,500, girl.
I mean, those girls should have put that toward their loans. We got a recession coming. But but yes, to your point, yeah, like, you work on, but then it's still like your mental, you got to, the things you need to do to exercise that brain and get that brain right is different.
Right.
Now, because I'm a girl who's been working on her finances and getting ready, in case we got to leave the country before the next civil war, I do want to know some financial tips you can lead the girls with, aka me and others. If there's anything like, oh, y'all girls need to start a Roth IRA or
yeah.
What's one thing you leave our listeners with? Me.
How can the girls get their money up, basically? How can the girls get their money up, Miss MJ? What can they do? What can they do?
What I would recommend is this. So for me, one thing you're not going to get, I feel like there's many other advisors out there who are going to talk to you about IRAs and all these other things out there. And I think that there are enough voices who are sharing that with you. But here's the thing. IRAs and all those things don't matter if you don't have anything to put in it. And so to me, I'm more focused on making money, and I let the other girls teach you how to invest it. And because that's what they do very well. well, and that's what they're passionate about. And they can tell you probably better than I can. So for me, I'm a really big proponent of two things. First of all, multiple streams of income. We're all multifaceted, and I think that you do yourself a disservice anytime that you choose to only make money in one place. I don't care if you can't make but $100 a week extra doing something else. That's still $5,200 extra a year. And invest it. That could multiply into different things. You know, I started my insurance business for under $1,000 just to give you a sense of scale for what that can mean, when you're just putting aside a couple
now you
dollars.
got 5,500 people. 5,500,
yeah. 5,500
yes,
people.
working under you.
And,
look at God.
Look at God. And so,
won't she do it?
We're church girls. And Miss MJ and I are church girls from way back.
Yes,
we got
indeed.
stories about that too. Yes, Juanita Bynum and Joyce Meyer.
Yes.
And yes, Paula White.
Ooh, we ain't claiming her no more.
We're not, she's done. She's done. But Juanita,
she got canceled. She got canceled.
She got canceled with DJT, with Donald J. Trump.
Ooh,
but girl,
she got canceled.
Yeah, we were Juanita Bynum girls. We were, Joyce Meyer. You were Joyce Meyer girl.
I love Joyce Meyer back in the day. Yeah. Yes,
but that's off top. But yeah, keep going. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I would say getting multiple streams of income is extremely important. And when people say, well, what can I do? I don't know what I'm passionate about. That leads to my second piece of advice. Get rid of this fucking new age passion thought that I gotta do shit. I can only do shit that I'm passionate about. Fuck passion. Focus on profit. Passion is a privilege that's afforded to a bitch that's made profit. Okay? The reality is that you gotta do what you gotta do to get this money sometimes. Of course, legally and all that kind of stuff. But like the reality is
Cardi
that
B tip. Go get that fucking money.
Get your motherfucking money, because like for me, do you think I was really fucking passionate about life insurance? No, I was passionate about making money and helping people, and life insurance was a way that I could make money and I could help people. I grew more and more passionate about it over time, and then I used the money I made from life insurance to invest in what I am passionate about, which is giving advice. But giving advice is, as Ms. Devereaux said, did not make me any money early on. I wasn't monetizing that. So I had to do the thing, I had to focus on profit first, and then through the surplus from the profit, I invested in what I was passionate about in a way that allowed me to then turn that passion into something that was profitable. So I'd say start with the profit first. And that doesn't mean you gotta do it forever. It's like what I'm teaching my nephew. My nephew is coming into the insurance industry, and he said to me, well, what if I don't want to do this forever? I said, well, that's up to you. I said, but at the very least, this will give you a strong financial foundation. So if you decide that you want to start a fashion line, if you decide you want to do whatever down the road, at least you have the capital to do that. So right now, just focus on capital building for yourself. And then from there, you leverage your capital to do things you're more passionate about.
Oh, I love that, girl. That's really something for the girls for the new year. Fuck passion, get your motherfucking money. I love that.
Or just know that passion doesn't have to. You don't have to lead with passion. Passion can come in later.
Fair. I mean, like you're not saying don't do something that you're gonna hate, like work at nothing wrong working at McDonald's, girls. Make them, but like think about you can't always like you say, you can't always just lead with passion. Sometimes you just gotta do what especially when like I know some girls who are broke right now need some money.
Right.
So.
And that's another thing I want to say, but it's not to cut you off. But another piece of advice I want to share is focus. You cannot be doing everything. I know some people say, I'm a jack of all trades. I do so many different things. What do I focus on? On the shit that can make you the most money right the fuck now. Okay? Fuck everything else, bitch. Don't nobody give a fuck about everything else you can do if ain't none of them making you no goddamn money. I decided, you think about Oprah. Okay, let's think about Oprah. We mentioned her earlier in the show. And Oprah did day after day recording the show. Day after day recording the show. For years before magazines, for years, decades before TV stations and things of that nature. And the thing is, I mean, imagine the monotony of getting up every morning at 5 a.m., getting the makeup, doing 2-3 shows a day, rinse and repeat. Imagine that.
And girl, she didn't always have Beyonce on. Sometimes she has some KKK on. She had some random people. It wasn't always Beyonce.
Yes. But she did that, and I mean, shit, let's talk about Beyonce. Imagine the monotony of these massive world tours every night, going on stage while your feet hurt from the night before. It's glamorous to us looking in, but what people don't understand, for folks who are on these large platforms reaching a lot of people, is a lot of our work is extremely monotonous, but we do it because it is what enables us to open doors to do the things that we enjoy more.
Yeah, girl. I think about singing that same set list every night. Yes,
every night.
Every night. Yeah, on a tour,
girl, we can barely do this show every week. Like, you giving up.
Girl, and you, girl.
Like, we be, we late. It's a long time. We're late. Well, I'm a lazy hoe. Like, like we already be like, girl, maybe we should do this every. We like, girl, maybe we should do it every other week. Maybe we should do it once a month, girl.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Miss MJ's out here putting out content,
right?
Girl,
every day. We're like
5 times a week.
We're gonna do the show this week. I don't know, girl. How you?
But I have my days. I definitely have my days, but I don't feel like it. You don't feel like doing it. You don't feel like makeup. You don't feel like the filming and stuff like that. And those are the days that I don't do it. I use old repackaged content. Y'all probably gonna do that as you have more and more content. You'll repackage shows, the best of, blah blah blah. You know what I mean?
Yes,
so you'll do it.
Yes.
Yeah, we did that a couple weeks ago. But I will say, like, it's early. We ain't even been a year mark. We're already like, yeah, girl, let's reuse some shit.
Get the reruns.
But I will say, Malcolm, one of the things I remember early Philly days that stuck with me is like, if you don't use your talent, then you're losing it. Someone else will take it. And that's something you said to me, and that sticks with me. Like, that's what encouraged me to even start the show. I was like, I feel like there's something here with me and Devereaux. We could do something. And I was like, why not do it? If it doesn't work out, okay, we'll move on. We'll try something else. But honestly, y'all girls need to remember, like, use that talent, use those skills that sometimes you may even take for granted. You're like, is this really something? And you never know what can come from it.
You don't know what it can. When I think about the fact that my ability to make people laugh and make them think, that talent, that skill that got me in trouble in school constantly, that talent that would often get me in trouble with my family because while they were being serious, I was cracking jokes, has turned into a very large enterprise that has birthed other enterprises. Don't look down on these things that people think of as small gifts. Don't look down on these gifts just because your gift may not be similar to what your peers' gifts and strengths are. I don't know anybody who does what I do, and I didn't for years. So I often felt like the outlier. I felt like there was something wrong with me, and I was constantly searching for ways to be like everybody else. But ultimately, the key to my success was just embracing the things that made me unique, and that's what's opened these doors for me.
Ooh.
Yes.
Well, that's a perfect place to and so we still got a little bit more of the show, but we're gonna end that there, girl. You did that. We're gonna start wrapping her up. We appreciate you coming on, sis. But before we truly end it, so I don't know if you listen to the show originally, but we do this thing called Two Snaps, and Miss Devereaux could tell you about it. But my segment is a messier it's a darker segment, so we're gonna leave her off because you just
She's always bringing us down. Miss Malachi always bringing us down. I'm the optimistic girl.
Yeah. So because you giving us a truly optimistic show with some good things for the girls to think about and truly get their lives ready for 2021, let's do Two Snaps.
Yeah. So Two Snaps is a segment where you give 2 snaps to a girl or somebody out in the world who's doing great work. Somebody who's out here. It could be somebody somebody famous. It could be whoever, but somebody you can think of, somebody in the public sphere even, who is out here doing the damn thing. So who are you going to give 2 snaps to this week, Miss MJ?
I am giving 2 snaps to Stacey Abrams. She, our country, our world for that matter, needs to be very grateful to her for what she's done.
A Black woman.
Absolutely.
Yes, girl. And it's so funny because I'm going to give 2 snaps to Miss Kamala Harris for 2 reasons. We've actually featured Miss Stacey Abrams in 2 snaps a few times. So yes, but she continually deserves her desserts. Yes. Miss Kamala Harris, well, she's on the cover of Vogue for February, our Madam VP. But also because for something she did in October 2019 where she said, that Twitter needs to remove DJT, Donald J. Trump's Twitter account. She was calling that way back in 2019, girl. And look at God. She has, Miss Kamala Harris really put that out there in the sphere. And now, DJT, we don't have to deal with that threat of terrorism, not just literal terrorism, but just like that was like mental and emotional terrorism we had in our lives all these years in his Twitter account. So
every time you go on social media, you're like, oh, is this the day he's going to start a war? Or is this the day he's going to bomb something?
Exactly. And she called it way back then. So I really appreciate her for that. So 2 snaps from Miss Kamala Harris. And Miss Malachi, do you have 2 snaps?
Oh, y'all took it. Y'all did it. I don't have nothing to add. For Miss Kamala Harris in Georgia. Like, truly. And it still might mean our democracy, my moment. It still might mean, our democracy's hanging on, but we just got a chance. We got
just
a chance.
hanging on, girl. Yeah.
And with that, that's our show. Follow us on Twitter and not Facebook, girl.
We're there.
We're there. Build up your
We're
Facebook.
there.
I'm going to tell you, post your stuff on Facebook because they will monetize you.
Yes, you're right. You're right. And Instagram, we're on IG at two.
We're gonna work on that. We're gonna work. Okay, but but we do miss IG, and she's owned by Facebook, so we still got a little bit of Mark Zuckerberg in us.
Yeah.
So don't forget to share our stories, girls. Share the show. I really, really appreciate it. Where can people find you and all your wisdom and advice, Ms. MJ? Giving them the socials.
I will say you can find me on pretty much any social media platform, which is MJ
You on
Harris
TikTok?
Speaks. I am. I just posted TikTok before I came on. MJ Harris Speaks. I do have a Twitter. I'm not as active on Twitter because I just don't. I probably have like 2,000 followers on there, which is a small number compared to my other platforms. But if you like to follow me,
she's talking about 2,000. We got 100, Devereaux. You see how this bitch do?
No, I didn't know that. I wasn't saying it like that, but I was saying like compared to millions somewhere else. We
got you, sis. I'm fucking with you.
Miss MJ is a 1 million follower girl on Facebook.
It's almost 2 million now.
Oh, it's almost 2.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You go, girl.
We knew her way back when.
and hundreds of thousands on Instagram.
Yeah,
hundreds of thousands on Instagram too. Yes.
Yeah.
I love it.
Thank y'all.
Well, I hope y'all stay safe, healthy, and saved out there. Thank you again, Ms. MJ, for coming on the show. Truly, this was wonderful.
My pleasure.
With that, we will see you next week. Miss Devereaux, you got a final word for the girls?
Yes, girl. So I just, Miss MJ said this was a word in one of her videos recently. She said, if you're busy and still broke, it may be time to reevaluate your time priorities, girl. Where's your time going, girl, if you still broke? So come back to some people and things when you've made a little coin and you're not broke anymore, okay? All right, girls. Bye.